questions in your back pocket.
But hopefully you won't run into that situation.
I shouldn't. To Sarah's comment about that should never happen. You probably don't want to be at that company. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think it does play a good, or brings up a good point there that obviously it's a short time that you're going to be talking to employers. You know, there's a lot of people there. You're going to have a number of companies that you're going to go see, but you should be asking questions too. It's a two-way road. You know, we're here to find out about you, but you should be curious about our company and why we work here. That's a great question. Why do you work for the company?
What do you like about it?
What do you like about it?
I think someone over here, young man.
I just wanted to say that even that thing happened with me like twice or thrice in last Friday. It was the same thing. Like he started with a question, I introduced myself, I answered the question, and then he just kept quiet. And afterwards, I asked him a couple of questions, and that's it. He wasn't interested in. It felt like that. So it was really demotivating. Is there anything else we can do apart from asking questions, like or some specific types of questions we can ask them to keep them engaged, or?
I think like Jerry said, you have to. I think you want to ask yourself, is this a company I want to work for? I mean, if they're, like you said, they don't seem interested in me, do you really want to continue that process with them? I think that shouldn't happen. I think that question shocked all of us because we're never going to treat a candidate like that. That's not something that we're even familiar with.
But there are long lines. So after we've been able to talk to you for a few minutes and we feel like we have a good handle on your background, you know, we aren't going to be able to stay and spend 20 minutes with each candidate. So we'll probably tell you what the next steps are and thank you and have to move on to the next candidate, right? So it should move along because the lines are long and we know that there's other companies you can go to talk to as well. Yes?
Follow-up question on the previous two questions.
Can't hear you.
My question is a follow-up question to those two previous questions over here. So this recruiter, she asked me a technical question, to which I answered within the confines of what a company is supposed to do in a penetration testing assignment. But then she stayed quiet for like 15 or 20 seconds. So at that point of time, if I introduce a little humor based on technicalities, is it something frowned upon or will it help my cause in moving the conversation forward?
Using humor?
Yes. So
I probably would not use humor.
You're just kind of stepping into an unknown area. You don't know if what you find humorous, if they're going to find funny too.
in the technical aspect, so she asked me, how do you hack a DNS server?
Maybe she's not technical. Maybe she has just responses that she knows and she's looking out for. Maybe that's why she was quiet afterwards. She was processing it. And then if you had a joke or a humorous statement on it and it went over her head and she didn't get it, I think it's, yeah, you don't, unless you know for a fact where their background is, I think it's kind of dangerous territory.
So just wait upon them, move the conversation forward.
Yeah, do you have anything else to ask me, you might say?
Yeah.
You know.
Did I make that clear, or does that answer the question? Yeah.
What do you guys think about business cards? Do you think they're something that every student should have, or just not really needed?
They're small, we're meeting lots of people, and they easily get lost, if you want the truth. Your resume, we've got your resume, we've got all kinds of good information on it. We're gonna have resumes, but business cards, sometimes people wanna paper clip them to their resume. They're easily misplaced. And from a student's perspective, I don't see a great need for business cards from a college student.
Agreed.
In more of a networking form, I would see that, but for a career fair, yeah, I would agree.
Agreed.
I agree. We have no need for it.
We may give you our business card because we're not giving you our resume, right? It's all we have to give you for our information, but we've got your resume, so.
Save your money.
Yeah.
So this is more of a question for like when you're not at a career fair and you're getting applications sent in through your system.
anybody that looks qualified. I don't care if you have a 3.0 or a 4.0. We need people. So obviously we want well-rounded, but at the end of the day, we're just going to look for the people that are the right fit for us.
Can you define well-rounded? What does that mean?
So you've had a part-time job, you're in a club at school, you're an active member in the club. You don't have to be the president, but maybe you were on a committee, right? You're involved.
You volunteer, you're in intramural sports, you have activities outside of just staying alone in your dorm, playing video games, and going to school.
You may be an adult learner. We see that, former military.
And don't shy away from all those extracurricular activities because they do tell the story and goes right into the well-rounded profile that is interesting.
The young man over here that's working, did the food service and the other internship, that's well-rounded to me. Going to school and working is difficult. And keeping your grades up, that's very difficult. That's a challenge. But it shows drive and some passion too.
We might ask you what you do for fun, and we're just trying to get to know you. But if you do just play video games for fun, try to come up with something a little more than I play video games.
You organized a competition, right? Something like that.
On the floor or something.
If you were the lead on, you don't have to be the captain of a team or, but if you were a lead on a project, things like that, showing that you take initiative, that'll go far.
So I remember you talking earlier about how most companies, they will look for at least a 3.0 GPA, but what if you're not at a 3.0, but you're getting close to a 3.0 GPA at least, and you're working to get over that what we call that line.
Threshold.
I know some companies there's only actually been one company that's been like, no, we wouldn't look at your resume at all, but what does that look like to you?
I made a comment, so just, we'll look at under 3.0, but that's our target. It's a target for us.
Okay.
It's not you have to have a 3.0 or higher, but that's a target for us. Now, what happens to us if you go like a 2.5 or something, not going to happen.
Right.
And I like to hire freshmen, and often we'll interview freshmen on some campuses in September, and they just started school in August, so they don't even have a GPA, right? So, we're telling them, yes, you have to have the 3.0 by the time you start, but we know when we're interviewing them, they don't have any GPA.
And don't lie about the GPA. I see this all the time. It's not on there, and general rule of thumb, if your GPA is not on your resume, it's probably under a 3.0. That's the assumption I'm making. So when I ask somebody about it and they say, oh, it's like right at a 3, like right at a 3 or a 3. And they're like, oh, because I have 3.0. Okay, great. And then I ask them to send me their transcripts, and what do you know? It's 2.9. That they just showed me they were dishonest.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm done with them as a candidate. I'm not speaking to them further. Also, I don't want to hear, well, it should be a 3.0 at the end of the semester.
Okay.
That's not the question I asked. I asked, what is your GPA now? The best thing that you can do if you're working on it and it's getting there is to have that response ready. This is what I'm doing to work on it. I started as an electrical engineer. I just realized that was not the path for me. I did poorly in those classes. If you see my transcript, you'll see I've been making this improvement as soon as I got in classes in my major. Have that excuse, or not excuse, but have the reasoning for it ready to go. And don't make excuses, and your reasoning better match your transcript. If you said you're improving, and then I look at your transcript and you're, just last semester you had a 2.1, it's not matching up.
Yeah.
There's a young lady that graduated from RIT that we tried to hire. Her freshman year, she did not do very well at grades. Now, she got to get your grades up. So she finally did, graduated with honors. And I went to work for Lexmark the same time I worked in. Now she's at MIT, the master's program. But when I see a student that has a low GPA and they're in 15 organizations, that's a problem. So what are you here for? It's not the social environment. And to back to Sarah's point, if you're working up like, I had a 2.6 this semester, I got to 2.8 this next year, and you made improvement, show that.
But why we want students that do well in school is because we want you to be able to come and contribute to our companies. So if you're not academic academically where we need you to be, you're not going to be able to contribute at the level we want you to contribute.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a question from Facebook. Do you value a student's entrepreneur ventures as less, equal, or more valuable than work experience in an already established company?
I would say it's equal. I've talked to people that mowed lawns, and it was one kid, he started mowing lawns, and he ended up buying more lawnmowers and hiring his friends, and he had this whole big business where they were mowing lawns, and he was making, $10,000 each summer over and above his expenses. That was brilliant. It was something as simple as mowing lawns. So absolutely, it shows the initiative, it shows the entrepreneurial side, and it also shows the passion to grow and build something.
Yeah, and drive and motivation, those are huge principles for employers because we want people to come in who want to come in and grow with us. So that's a great example.
I think if you go off the entrepreneurial spirit, you're selling things to customers, and all of us have customers. You got to know how to do that.
I would say it depends on the experience and how people are pitching it on their resume. It does show that initiative, it shows hardworking, but sometimes people really oversell what they did and they don't think about the outcome of what happened. They tried something and it was a huge flop, they didn't have time for it, they just kind of let it go to the wayside, but they still put it on their resume because they want to say that they're the CEO and founder of whatever. And then when you talk to them, you realize they're literally blowing it up to something it wasn't. The other concern I have with that, if that's all the experiences, is do you really want to come work for an established company? Or are you going to want to work on your own and start your own business 2 years down the road?
Yeah, be careful that you're not overemphasizing your entrepreneurial spirit and having your own company because exactly to that point, to me that shows, do you want to work for us or do you want to work for yourself?
I always hear people when we're talking and I'm like, what are you looking for? What do you want to do? What are your long-term plans? And they're like, oh, down the road, maybe 5 years, I really want to start my own business and go on my own. All right, well, good luck to you.
If you think that, don't say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
And it's not that we expect every person that comes to our company is going to stay for 30 years, but if you haven't even been hired yet and you're already planning on leaving and starting your own company, we invest in people. We invest with educational dollars, with training, development, and we want you to have some investment back.
What about attire? No one's asked about appearance at the career fair.
Who's in the first session today? What's the attire? Somebody had a nice word to that. Dapper was one, and what was the other one?
Professional?
Professional. Go ahead.
Boring.
Boring is better.
You said boring?
I
You
did.
said boring?
I did.
That's good. That's good.
Because I didn't want it to be flashy, or we shouldn't remember you because you had some crazy tie or
No.
some purple hat or some crazy thing. We should remember you for your great personality and the skills you're going to bring.
Same thing
Versus-
with the resume. Having a goofy layout and all this stuff, that's not the right way to stand out. Just as wearing a bow tie or a bright orange suit or goofy attire is not the correct way to stand out. I like boring.
But we talked also about if you don't have a nice sport coat, borrow one from your buddies. Go to Goodwill, Salvation Army. Those things are all practical ideas. Good stuff. You can get cheap stuff there for $1. I had to wear it one time.
Ladies, you don't have to wear skirts. It's 2018. You can wear pants. It's absolutely acceptable. And don't wear high heels. Be comfortable. You're there at a career fair. We're talking about a job. It's not the club.
You are gonna be, your feet are gonna kill you.
Don't
after.
do what I'm doing. You see these shoes?
Yeah.
It didn't warn me that I was going to stand here for hours straight. I'm just kidding.
Now, we'll tell you all that we want you to be dressed professional, but a lot of us will be in jeans and golf shirts or casual clothes. Does anybody know why we come casually, but yet we expect you to be dressed professionally?
You've already been hired.
You've already been hired, yes. But we also want to show you the environment once you come to work for us, right? So I don't think at any one of these companies people are wearing suits and ties every day. So we want you to understand you're wearing suits and ties, sorry. But we want you to understand what our company culture is like.
And that's the other thing, there are differences. We're in a tech industry and we'll get people that come to our interview and they're wearing jeans and a t-shirt and I'm asking them, why why are you wearing this to an interview? Oh, well, it's tech industry. I didn't really think it mattered, and that's just what tech industry wears. And maybe some companies in the tech industry wear that, but we are government contractors. There's some of our sites we have to dress to the level of the government. So we have a handful or more sites that you have to wear a suit every day. Most of them are going to be slacks and a polo or a button-up shirt with a tie, but we do have a handful or more sites that you have to wear a suit. So when in doubt, at the career fair, wear a suit, look professional. For an interview, ask the employer, what would you recommend I wear to the interview? Or, better yet, just wear a suit to the interview.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed.
So what was the learning point about Fast? What was the learning point? He just gave you a great hint. You got to work for them. You got to wear a suit. So now
If you don't want to work, if you don't want to wear a suit,
Right.
we might not be the right company for you. If that's a deal breaker.
What's over there, Maria?
Hello. There's a growing doctoral population on the RIT campus. We've started an association to better work with co-op and career offices and to provide professional development to our students. But in regards to the career fair, oftentimes companies don't post about doctoral jobs there. Is it still advantageous for us to show up? Is there a different way that RIT should be working with employers so that our doctoral students can actually have face time with hiring managers? Because a career fair really is the only opportunity to get to meet somebody face to face. That
Let me just give you a tourist perspective. We don't hire many doctoral graduates. We have lots of PhDs. They're experienced PhDs to bring some particular skills we're looking for. I guess another conversation would be with career services to work with the particular companies individually. So what are the opportunities? Career fair is probably not going to, it won't be for us. It won't be for us.
And we have our global research in Schenectady or Albany, New York, and we do hire doctoral students, PhD students. It's not as often, though, as most companies are hiring regular engineers or regular professionals, but it doesn't hurt to come talk to us.
And I think that the relationships with career services is very beneficial too for especially doctoral students. We hire on occasion, and we try to get to universities, to the specific departments, and build relationships at that level. I think there are some advantages to a career fair, but I agree. I don't know if it's the exact target that you would go to.
And you have to ask yourself, what are you looking for? And it kind of goes back to just figuring out what you want to do and what you're looking for and doing that research beforehand. If you're just blindly going to the career fair, that's probably not a great approach to it. But if you've done your research and you know the companies that are looking for doctoral candidates, that's a great fit. We typically don't bring on doctoral candidates. We just don't have the experience level roles. Our roles are entry level, and we're not going to provide them an opportunity that would fit their skill set. So, be respectful of that as well. I hear a lot of times candidates, I don't care what I do. Okay, so you know that you're going to be making the same salary and doing the same work as a bachelor's student. That's fine, I don't care. And then they work for us for a year and they don't feel like they're challenged enough, and then they leave. So I think it's just kind of really knowing what you're looking for and what companies are going to be at the career fair. But I agree with everything else, just work more hands-on with career services for those roles.
So I think it works both ways. I've been in the career services office for a while, and RIT is very new to the PhD space, depending on what area you're looking at. But we've had some success, and I think that I can speak to IBM because that's my account, and I know, and it's also what is it that you would like to do with IBM. So I would treat it as a big networking event. So the recruiter that comes, he may not be the PhD candidate person, but what is it that you want to do? Because you've done your research, you kind of scoped it out and know exactly. So how about using it as a networking event? I know you're not the person that hires the doctoral candidates, but when you go back, is there a way you can tell me who that person is, or how do I navigate? And so for Kim, it'll be easy. She's like, okay, I was at RIT and I met this great candidate. I don't have this for her right now, but maybe because we're open to it, I can find a contact. But if she takes the time to talk to you and give you a contact, then you go ahead after the fair, make sure you follow up with her and try to connect it. So again, it's exactly what Sarah said, it's everything that they're saying. Use it, kind of do your research, know who you're going to approach, know what it is that you want, and maybe ask for a contact within, and then follow up and utilize it. Because I truly believe, just like with any other major or any other program at RIT, sometimes it takes a few of you guys to pave the way and like keep coming back, and when something does pop up at one of their companies, they can say, aha, I was at RIT and I heard some students talking about, and then they reach out to us, and then we're like, absolutely, here's a professor, let's connect and let's do it. So that just kind of would be my advice in a nutshell. Would you guys agree? Or yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because most of the time looking for a PhD, there's normally a search firm doing that for
Right.
us.
Or for us, it's a specific research area. And that's the other thing with a PhD, you've got that, your dissertation, and a lot of times what your dissertation or your research in is what the company's needing. They're not just gonna pick somebody because they have a PhD in mechanical engineering, right? There's gotta be some type of specialized research.
You know, we mentioned relocation, we want to relocate, so our research is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And with everybody has different so research location only like one location. And so are you willing to live there? That's a question you gotta ask yourself. I want to go there, I want to be a PhD research student, but I don't want to go to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Well, that's where we're at.
If an employer asks you a question, you're unsure about the answer, how should you answer that? Like, you should tell them that you're not sure about the answer, or should say something following along those lines?
So if a recruiter asks a question that you can't answer,
Yeah, you're
how
not
should you
unsure.
answer?
Depends on the question. A lot of the questions they're going to ask you at the career fair, you should know the answer to, 100%. Whether it's, are you willing to relocate? You should have thought about that beforehand. What type of role are you looking for? You should have thought of that. If they ask you, something specific or technical or about a certain area of their company that you just, maybe you forgot to look into or you hadn't looked into yet, be honest about that and let them know that you're not sure of it. Don't lie. And I'll ask people all the time when they come up to a booth, oh, have you heard of Fast Enterprises before? Yep, I have. Oh, great, what do you know about us? You guys do like consulting and coding, I think? And I've just instantly caught them in this lie that like, no, you haven't heard of us before and you don't know anything about us. So it's better to just be honest with people.
Similar to the GPA, honesty is your best policy, bottom line.
So, question. So that's a very usual one that almost all companies ask. Why should we hire you?
Why should we hire you? That's the question.
I don't think I've ever asked that at a career fair. Maybe at the end of an interview, but never at an actual career fair.
I was asked that question. Like, why do you think you are fit for this position? Why do you think we should consider it? Not exactly hire you.
At a career fair you were asked that?
In 5 minutes of talking
I
to
say,
you, just
how long were you talking to?
Yeah. I mean, let's say it's an interview, or let's say it is the career fair. For some reason they're asking that question. Again, it's going to go back to tell me about yourself. What are you proud of? This is your opportunity to tailor your answer and pitch why you're perfect. So it's just basically, you don't have to wait for them to ask the right question to get this information out. You get to just offer this up. So why are you a good fit for them? What do you know about what they're looking for? And tailor your response to it. Like for us, we're looking for people who have strong communication skills, who have strong coding background, who are adventurous, who are willing to relocate, who are passionate about working and improving government. That's what I want to hear back. That's why.
So you're telling them what your strengths are. She said communication skills. What are your strengths? And what are you passionate about? Right? I'm passionate about coding. So that's really what you want to focus on, your strengths and what you're passionate to do.
And those are kind of the things that you already covered in the tell me about yourself.
So I have a question. And earlier this fall, we've had a few students that have expressed a vast interest in wanting RIT to have a policy of when employers can come to campus and interview and make offers. So basically a strict policy that says from, I don't know, September 1st to October 15th, This is the only period of time that companies can either come on campus and recruit or make offers to students. And then the students have a certain deadline. I want to ask the panelists today, what are your thoughts? And I understand there's also been some research, some faculty have done research and said there are other universities with such a policy and they would like RIT to institute this policy. I want to hear from
Who's requesting this?
the students.
So there's one university out there that tells the students that they don't have to give a decision to the company until March 15th if they want to work in the summer. By March 15th, all my jobs are full and I'm getting people onboarded for summer. So if I have to wait for you to tell me by March 15th if you accepted my job or not, you're not going to have a job, okay? So we have thousands of candidates that want to come work for us. We're trying to pick the best fit, but we can't wait 4 months while you try and interview with 17 other companies. Is that right? We understand you're searching for your future just as well as we're searching for great candidates, but we've got the jobs. And if you're not serious about the job, we can find other great candidates that are serious about it.
Welcome to the real world. Life is not going to work out, and if your school starts to restrict employers to make this work better for you, what's to stop your parent from coming in and trying to negotiate an offer for you? I mean, for us, we have 9 recruiters that attend over 150 different career events every year from September to May. If RIT starts putting restrictions on when I can come on campus, when I can extend offers, forget it. I don't have time to keep that in mind. I don't have time to keep up with the offer schedule. I'm going to go find another campus or 2 that I could fit in to that schedule. I don't have the time to accommodate 1 or 2 schools' structure for that.
I think it's pushing the limits, obviously, really far because everybody has different business conditions. Each company has different business conditions. But to the point, here is nothing against anybody in this room, but there's going to be a lot of interest from other students. And unfortunately, we would love to have you if you're offered a position. But if you can't make a decision by a certain time, then we're unfortunately going to have to move on to the next person. So I don't really understand.
And for the rest of your career, you will not be able to choose how long you get to make your decision. So when you've been in your career 10 years and you try a new company, you're not going to be able to say, well, I need 6 months to weigh my other options. When you've been in your career 20 years, you're not going to be able to say, I need 6 months to weigh my options.
Well, I don't know where this is coming from, but you ever been to a comedy show? Have you been to a comedy show before? And the comedian got the microphone. He's in charge, right?
Yeah.
So we got the microphone.
Right.
The companies do.
Yep.
We're going to go someplace else. That's what's going to happen.
It's okay to be honest with
It
the
is.
employer, and we've had people that have just said, I'm not quite ready, and we'll say, no problem. Why don't we take back the offer when you're ready? Get back in touch with us. Or maybe they're interviewing with companies for the next month. Be honest with the timeline. Don't just say, I accepted another offer because I had to. It's okay to ask for extensions. If they're not willing to grant an extension, you have to respect that as well. But there's nothing worse than a student that's not honest with us about their timeline, and they cancel their interview, which we've already paid for a flight for them, we've already organized our schedule, and the day before their interview, they tell us they're not coming because they had to accept this other offer that we didn't even know about.
We would much rather know.
Job offers are gold. You get a job offer, that's gold. And Kim and I had experience when the recession gas prices, you don't remember that. We were making job offers like crazy, and then the recession hit, and we had to drop job offers. And we had people turn us down. Well, Toyota and GE, we're not going to rescind any job offers. We make you an offer, we're going to stick with it. So a young lady had a job offer, and the company rescinded it. She called back, can I come now? Well, it's too late. So our job is to get great candidates in the right positions at the right time. And the school's never going to dictate that to any company. Never.
We got products to make, right? We all make different products, but we got products to make. We've got customers that we have to get our product to, whoever our customers might be.
It that answer your question?
Yes, I guess I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction, but I'm actually happy it happened, so thank you very much, because we're not working in a silo. Yes.
As a follow-up question, what kind of time frame is reasonable? Like a few days, a few weeks? What do you guys think?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, I would say, is
Ours is
the
2
max.
weeks. Be wary of companies that say like you have 48 hours to make a decision. You have 24 hours to make a decision. Is there a reason that they're not letting you think about it or take that time? But I would say 2 weeks is pretty standard.
So I give longer time if it's your first time coming to work for us as a co-op or an intern, right? I may give you 4 weeks, but it depends what time of year it is. If it's March and you want to come in the summer, that starts in May, I'm not going to give you 4 weeks. But once you've come to work for me one time, if you're coming back with a return offer, I'm probably not going to give you as long a time, because ideally you already know how great our company is and you want to come back.
All right, we have a few minutes. Any last questions? Yes.
A company brings a team of recruiters from their part. Okay, what if a recruiter for your team is not present over there, and the company representatives are not able to give you more information about the company?
Did you hear him?
I did.
He said most companies bring a team of recruiters. What if your company does not bring a recruiter that represents the field that he is interested in?
Well, that'll happen for me, for example, right? GE has many different businesses. Aviation and oil and gas will be here this week, but healthcare is not going to be here. So if you're interested in GE Healthcare, we're not going to have somebody at the career fair, but we can certainly take your resume and get it back to the people at GE Healthcare. I mean, that happens.
So typically what happens is, right, they're like, we don't know if we're hiring. Is that kind of response? So how do you maneuver that? Like, what do you say to follow up on that?
I would say get, if you can get the contact information of the person that you're talking to see if they can follow up with somebody from that department, because I know we come across that from time to time too, where there's not a true representation on our team there for what field you're in. So if you can get contact information and create a follow-up, some type of communication going forward, it's probably your best bet.
How many of you actually follow up with recruiters when you get business cards at the career fair, or if they actually tell you to go apply online? How many of you, be honest with me,
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
how many of you actually follow up if a recruiter gives you their business card or tell you to apply online? So you actually do.
We track this stuff. I bet less than 10% of the people we meet at the career fair actually follow through and apply online and do what we say. And I think a lot of times it's because they forgot. They were so overwhelmed, they can't remember who told them to do what. So definitely keep yourself organized and keep a notebook and write down that information and ask the employer, what should I do? Should I give you my resume? Should I apply online? Write all that down at the career fair so you know exactly what to do when you get back to your dorm room.
I would even go a step further and look online, see if you have to apply online before the career fair. You have to apply online for us, I know that. There's no other way around that.
Especially for your top 10 companies that you're interested in, make sure you go and apply before you even go to that career fair. And they're going to say, well, I need you to go out online, and you can say, I've already done that because I'm really interested in working for you.
All right. Well, thank you all very, very much. This is my first time doing this, and I think you guys blew me away. So we have one more session to go. Let's take a break, huh? How about that?